I don't know about you, but there's a few things that I will never do. One of them is I'll never ask a woman if she's expecting. And the other one is I'll never ask someone if they're dieting, with one exception. 2 months ago, I saw Derek at one of Houston City Beats mixers, and he looked so amazing that I had to ask him, Derek, what are you doing? You've lost so much weight. And his answer got my brain to thinking, what if I did this thing that Derek is doing, because he's lost so much weight and he has all this energy. You could just tell by looking at him. I tried it the first day and I failed miserably. So then I gave myself some grace and I tried it again the second day. And again, I failed second time. So the third time I thought, let me bring him on and have him share his story with you all so you could find out what Derek Tice did to look this great and feel this wonderful. So here he is. Thanks for joining us, Derek.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what is this thing that you're doing?
So I'm just doing intermittent fasting, right? I'm not going on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 day streaks of not eating. But basically, I just eat once a day, and that one meal is typically pretty large. I eat kind of like a pig on those days, or every day, I should say. But through that, I've kind of cut back on the things that you shouldn't be eating, right? Like, so I haven't had fast food all year. I haven't had ice cream but one time instead of once a day. But I don't really find myself craving those things anymore. So basically, whether it's a hamburger or Mexican food or Italian food or seafood, I pretty much eat whatever I want. And I do that during lunchtime. On the weekends, it's a little bit tougher. So I kind of move my lunch schedule back to around 2 o'clock, versus eating at noon. So that's basically it. Like, I didn't really make any life altering changes. I'm not like going to the gym a ton more. I'm not running a lot. Like, I do a little bit of exercise here or there, but nothing really extravagant. So that's kind of what I did. One of the guys on my team has been doing it for years, basically since he was a teenager, and he eats like a horse. His metabolism's high. He's obviously younger than me, but I was like, you know what? I got to do something different. So I'm going to give it a try. And kind of like like you said, it's hard at first, but then you kind of adapt and it really doesn't even bother me anymore.
So you plan obviously there has to be some prior planning to this, right? Because as an example, if you know that you're going to go out to a dinner with your group, like you guys just won something great, right? You just hit another milestone, and you as a leader say, hey, let's go out. I'll take y'all out to dinner. I see the pictures that you're always posting on Facebook, so I know it happens a lot. And you can't just eat your regular one time a meal lunch and then do this dinner that you plan for your team. So you have to do some prior planning.
Yeah.
When you're looking at your schedule, right?
Yeah. So basically, we took the dinners and moved them to lunch, first and foremost. So every Friday, we have what's called above average week or above average lunch. So if you beat the company average in your sales goals for the week, you get to go to lunch on me. Sometimes that's 3, sometimes that's 6. Sometimes my bill gets really expensive. But we go, we eat, have a good time. And then I'm not really, like, I don't crave food in the evenings, but say Saturday, right? My daughter has swim meet all day. So if you ever had kids in swim, you're there at 6 o'clock in the morning and you don't get out of there until 3 o'clock at night. So yes, I'm going to eat some form of breakfast in the morning, and I'll just eat a smaller portion come 4 or 5 o'clock. I try not to eat after 5, to be honest. That's one thing I've tried not to do. I've gone to dinners with friends and family and just drank coffee, right?
Really? No way. Are you serious?
Yeah, yeah.
That takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah, but after you do it a while, like, you're just not really hungry.
Really?
No, I just, you only need what you need for the day, right? So let's say it is a day that I'm going to go walk a couple miles. Well, then maybe I will have, some fruit or something later in the day, something like that. So it's not like, I have to watch my intake, right? But as long as you're not putting more in than you're burning, that's kind of the main thing, right? I mean, I have dealt with, fluctuating weight for years, and every trend there was, everything you could do, I've probably done. Um, but at the end of all of them, it's just, hey, if you're burning X amount of calories and you want to lose weight, you just don't eat it that many calories, right? It's just, I just kind of took all and dumbed it down as much as I could, basically. So, like, again, if Saturday, I know it's going to be extremely, let's say I'm going fishing, right, or playing golf, right? The two things that I like doing the most besides helping people with their health insurance. I make sure
Plug.
that I make sure that I have some kind of something in the morning, some eggs, some kind of protein, eggs, bacon, something like that. Try to stay away from the sugary stuff, right? Like, you can't just pound donuts, right? That
Yeah.
stuff's not great for you. I've never been a big soda drinker, so that hasn't been a problem. So mainly it's just coffee, water. I drink a vitamin drink in the morning. That usually fills me up until around lunchtime, and then I go eat a giant lunch to the point where it's like, it might be two things. Like, I might get like at Papados the other day, I got a big Greek salad, and then I got a big old bowl of gumbo, right? Because I wasn't really full. But when I started this was right after Thanksgiving. I went to the doctor, and they were like, I was having some digestive issues, right? And they were like, okay, you need to, probably lose some weight. Your blood pressure's up. I was like, okay.
Like, what kind of digestive issues? Do you want to share, or is this like super
No,
personal?
yeah, no big deal. I was at the UT and A&M football game day after Thanksgiving, and I thought my appendix was rupturing.
Oh,
But I was like, there's no way I'm missing this game. And there's a paramedic on every corner, so no better place for your appendix to rupture than here, right?
wow, that's commitment right there.
And then we got to the game, and it kind of went away. And the next day it hurt again. So the next week I went to the doctor, and they just figured it might be like a little diverticulitis or something, right? They gave me an antibiotic, no problems really since. But my blood pressure was up. So, and I stepped on the scale that day, and I hadn't stepped on a scale in a long time. And it was 253 pounds. And I was like, look, this is getting out of hand. Like, this is not good, right? I talk to people every day about their health, right? And a lot of times people can't qualify for certain products, life insurance, health insurance products, because of their health. And, I've kind of felt like a hypocrite, really, to be honest. So I was not just that, but like just overall, right? I'm 47, going on 48. I got a 13, fixed to be 14-year-old daughter. I'm at the point in my life where I know I'm not invincible anymore. I'm not, 27 no more and think I'm going to live forever. So, those things start creeping in your mind. So I decided, I'm going to follow Adrian, Adrian Williams, one of my agents. Like, man, you know what? I'm just going to do it and give it a shot. Did it, worked out. I was 218 this morning, so I'm down about 35 pounds. I've kept it off, which I've never done before. Usually when I would do some kind of diet or whatever you want to call it, I would get sick. Like, I'd have a sinus infection and I'd be on a Z-Pack, right? And those things kill your appetite. And I'm like, dang, man, I lost like 9 pounds while I was sick just because I didn't eat, right? But I did talk to my doctor. She gave me some ideas when I told her. I had to go back a couple weeks later, and I'd already lost like 8 or 9 pounds. So I told her what I was doing, and she was like, okay, well, she kind of taught me that, most people don't know when they're full, right? The more you eat, the bigger your stomach gets. So if that stomach's big, it takes more food to fill it up, right? So over time, your stomach will kind of contract where it doesn't take as much to really fill you up. So I eat one big meal a day, and that's basically it. Drink water and drink some coffee.
So day one, when you started your intermittent fasting on day one, if you remember that far back, I don't know about you, but my memory is like trash. I couldn't remember like 3 months ago, something that happened 3 months ago. But if you look back to day one, when you started the intermittent fasting, was it hard? Were you tempted to have breakfast because that's the normal pattern that you had established for yourself? And
Yeah,
how
so
did you break that?
I always ate lunch and always ate dinner. I've never really been a huge breakfast guy. Now,
Okay.
again, if I'm going some fishing or golfing, yeah, I'm probably going to hit Shipley's. Like, right, I'm from Houston, right? That's what we're going to do. So, the first day was the day after Christmas, and I had all these leftovers, right? So I ate a big lunch. Come that evening, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to die here, right? So I drank a cup of coffee, and that kind of helped knock it down. Next day, got a little bit easier. It just gradually got a little bit easier. And then come the first of the year, after New Year's, right? All the cakes and cookies and all the stuff from all the parties had been out of the house now, right? And I just kind of quit most of the sugars. Like Chewy Sprees are my nemesis. I still got a bag of them over there in the kitchen. Like I'm still gonna have a little bit here or there, right? But my lifestyle, my work lifestyle, like I work 10, 12 hours a day. I'm there at 8 o'clock in the morning. I would not get home until 8 o'clock at night. So I would eat lunch and I would come home. I live by myself most of the time, unless my daughter's here. I'm not gonna cook this giant meal for myself. So it was, honey buns, honeycombs. Let's get a cosmic brownie. Oh, well, screw it. Let's go ahead and have a bowl of ice cream, right? So it's not like I was eating great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or a good meal for me was going to the local sports bar and having some chicken wings or something, right? So it's not like I was just killing it lifestyle wise. So that was a big change too, and that probably helped on top of just reducing the amount of intake, but also cutting out a lot of the crap. Just to be frank, right?
Yeah.
I went back to the doctor in February, I believe it was, and had just like my routine wellness exam, and I was down 30 pounds. And the first question they asked me was, well, which GLP-1 are you on? Are you on Ozempic or what are you on? And I was like, well, I'm not on any of them, right? And they were like, really? It's like, yeah. So I was like, remember I told you about the fasting? They're like, oh, that's right. And they're like, and it just came off this quick. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, wow, that's pretty crazy. And they asked me kind of the same questions you did. And I was like, yeah, I cut out the sugar for the most part. So that really was probably the biggest part, right? I don't drink sweet tea anymore, and I don't crave it anymore. Like I don't crave any of the sugary stuff anymore. I really don't. Like I've always had a sweet tooth, always. Growing up, we always had candy and cookies and cakes and pies and all that. So
Yeah.
that was probably the hardest part of all of it, right?
Yeah, your brain craves sugar as much as like if you had a addiction to cocaine, is what I've heard. I've never been a cocaine addict, so I don't have anything to compare it with. But I am a sugar addict, and I do go through periods where I am completely sugar free, and then I accidentally drink something. It usually happens at a restaurant where I order something without sugar, and there's sugar in it anyway. And I end up drinking it, and then boom, here come the sugar cravings again.
Right.
So it for me, it's a constant battle. And so you started day one with just a big meal at lunch, and that carried you through. So it's not like you're consuming less calories; you're consuming the same amount of calories that you would need to get through your day. You're just doing it at one time per day, and then allowing your body all of these hours to digest your food, basically.
Exactly. So basically what the doctor told me is if your stomach's not growling, you're not hungry. Like you're not, your body doesn't need food. If it's growling, then you need to eat, whether that's a protein bar or something like that. So they did tell me like, hey, if your stomach's growling and it's been several hours since you ate, have some celery and carrots. And I was like, well, that ain't gonna work. Like I'm not eating that, right? So I did get like some granola bars here or there, but for the most part, like I said, if I know I've got a day that's going to be, I'm going to exert myself, right? Then yeah, maybe I have a decent snack or what have you. But 90% of the time, just every Monday through Friday, it's one meal a day. Like I said, it's a big meal. We go to a place called Mom's. It's like a cafeteria style buffet deal. I get two meats. Right. And they're like, damn, this dude's eating this much food. And I'll just destroy it.
Don't let him in. Close the doors.
Right. Exactly. So,
yeah,
that's kind of it.
Okay. So we were talking earlier about GLP-1 and these shots that are out there, and you're seeing some issues, not from the actual medication, which is not what we're going to talk about, but you're seeing some issues from policies that are objecting to it. Do you want to share some information on that?
Yeah, I've been doing this 8 years, so I've seen these trends come and go, right? And a lot of times when something's new, so like when Ozempic came out, it wasn't covered by anybody, for the most part. Maybe a group policy, but not on the marketplace, not on private health insurance. And then on the life insurance side, there's different rate ups for different things. They're going to pull your medical history, they're going to pull your prescription history, and your rates are going to be based on the medications you're on. These medications have not been out forever, right? So over time, this will decrease, but right now, it can affect whether you're approved, denied on something, or possibly charged more just because you're on it. Now, again, like I said, in the past, we've seen these things kind of start here and taper off. So I would anticipate that. Those shots are really expensive too. They're getting cheaper. There's different avenues for them. I mean, you can't turn on the TV without seeing one, right? Hims, hers, whatever. There's a GLP-1 pill now, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to kill you or anything like that because I'm not a doctor. But I will say from the insurance company's point of view, they're kind of taking it's slow. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. Okay. Good. That's good information to know. And the other day, I saw you share on your Facebook feed that you said there's a lady that you saved her. I might be misquoting this, but I want to say it was like $500 a month.
Yeah, $528.
Okay, on her health insurance. How did that come about?
So they live in South Texas. Her husband is a preacher, and they're on a group plan through the church. Her husband got the rates in the year before. It was like 867 just for the spouse, right? And this is very common on most group policies. If you have a spouse doesn't have a group plan, to add them to your policy, that's the most expensive part of the equation. Most time it's broken down employee only, employee plus spouse, employee plus family. Kids can be a little expensive if you just have one, but usually if you have two, three, or four, it's just one single price, right? Maybe it's $400 for one kid or 12 kids. It doesn't matter, right? But the spouse is always the most expensive part. So this lady was like in her early 50s. Her husband was a little bit older guy. They didn't have any kids. So they reached out to me via a referral partner that does Medicare that sent them my way and ran them a price. And they were like, okay, well, what's the deductible? Like $12,000? I was like, no, it's $5,000. And they're like, well, our group policy is $7,000. I was like, yeah, but if she's healthy, as you say she is, then we can look at private options where the rates are based on you. So one of the big things is if you're in a small group, say 10, 12 people, it's based on the whole group, right? Not you. Just like car insurance, right? In Texas, we pay through the nose in car insurance, right? So we're based upon all the drivers. Well, if you can pull yourself out of that and get your own private policy, it's just based on you. So she was healthy, height, weight, great, not a lot of medications, no major medical history. So she was able to get a better deductible on a PPO versus an HMO plan through the group and save a tremendous amount of money. Now, why was that group so expensive? I hate to tell you this, but one of the ladies had cancer. Guess what happened to their rates? They went up 28% the next year, right? So
Wow.
that's just what happens. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying, I think the health insurance industry is broken, just like everybody else. So I just try to help people navigate it as best as possible, put them in the right situation for them, right? Now, a lot of times, group plans aren't that bad, especially if you're in a big company, right? Sometimes they even cover a part of the spouse. But most of the people I deal with are self-employed, right? Those people get the short end of the stick the most because they're limited to, all right, I either got to get on my spouse's plan or I got to get a marketplace plan. But oh my gosh, I make too much money. So now I got to pay full price for a marketplace plan. And those rates are the highest of all of them, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's called the marketplace for a reason. It sets the market. Whatever it does, everything else is going to do. Last year, it went up about 27%. Groups followed suit, went up about 18. Private insurance went up about 6. So if you can get into a private policy that fits your needs, because they're not all the same, not even close, there's tons of them, and all your major carriers play in the same pools, right? Blue Cross has, Medicare, group, Obamacare, or marketplace, and they have private plans. Same thing with United, Aetna, all of them. So when I talk to people and they say, "Oh, I have Blue Cross," okay, well, what does that mean, right? Typically, I just say, "Send me a picture of your ID card so I can figure it out," because it's probably going to give me most of the information I need.
Yeah.
Because it's very convoluted and very confusing, right? I've been doing this 8 years, and sometimes I'm like pulling my hair out trying to figure out what the heck it is. So,
Yeah.
no telling what the public thinks, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's why they call you the insurance hammer, right?
The health insurance hammer.
The health
Some people
insurance
call
hammer.
me the deductible destroyer, the premium punisher, whatever.
Yeah. 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 Well, I loved your video that went out yesterday on Houston City Beat, to give you another plug-in, and it was a great message, and we look forward to putting together more of those videos and sharing the message of what you're doing to help people lower their monthly cost while keeping the same or better coverage. So
Right.
we're really excited about sharing all of those messages and those stories, which really do make an impact on people's lives. So thank you for what you do.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right. And well, my friends, that is all for tonight. Thank you for joining us. And for more community stories, you can find them on HoustonCityBeat.com. I'm Elizabeth Newton, and we'll see you at the next story.